Hello and welcome to another episode of Be the Hero of Your Brand. I'm Ben.
And I'm Rachel.
And we are the team here at Your Video Team.
My tongue got stuck to the top of my mouth. No, I'm Rachel.
We're not changing it. So welcome back. We're back in the office.
Yeah, we are.
And we spruced it up a little bit more.
We have sprucey.
Show a bit more of who we are.
Plastic plants because it can't grow anything.
We don't want to have to water them.
That's a good point actually. We do have one live one we were gifted and it's like, it fills me with anxiety that we'll keep this thing alive.
Well, it only needs watering once every 4, 5, 6 months.
Yeah. Good, because I think we've had it about 4 and I may have done it once. It was bent over the other day and I had to go and find her and was like, it's all bent over. She was like, it's just trying to reach for the sun, turn it round. I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. I think it's got some new leaves growing on it as well.
Get me growing a plant.
Pound it. Good job.
Oh, I should have rhinoed you.
Now people are not going to know what that means, but that's great. So how is everyone? We wanted to talk to you about something that we've been doing recently, and that's podcast evolution.
Yeah.
And what do we mean by that?
It's talking and looking at I feel like that was a trick question, but like evolving your podcast. So obviously we have just started, and what happens with a lot of people, I think we did this statistic the other day, and I'm going to say all the numbers wrong, but it was something really high, like 80-something% of podcasts don't get past their 6th episode.
Yeah. The
average episode is like 9 for most podcasts. So those that get past 6 are like, yeah, but actually do you get past 9?
Well, what's pulling up the average are those episodes that are 3, 4, 5, 600 down the line, 1,000 down the line. But yeah, the majority of them that are out there don't get into double figures.
That's quite scary, isn't it? And it's interesting to know what it is that stops people.
Yeah.
Because we're on 8.
7 this one. Or 8.
But even so we're right in that
catchment, yeah. And
of going,
let's be honest, this is a few weeks ago since we last recorded. 3 weeks ago we last recorded. We recorded a couple of episodes on
we knew we had a busy couple of weeks, so
and this is due to be released on Friday, and it's Wednesday today. So
yeah,
it is.
So it's clear as to time constraint is a part of that. As when you commit to something like this, you have to commit to it.
You do, yeah. And
it's working out how you can commit to it, I think. So and then also it's not looking necessarily at the commitment, I think, because it's not looking at the commitment, it's looking at, this is the evolution stage, isn't it? This is why we're doing this now, and sort of going, hang on a minute, like, what is it that's made it harder this week? What is it that's we still love? Are people engaging with it? All of those, like evaluating where we are and then where we want to go with it.
Yeah, I think there's also the fact that in the very early stages, things happen a lot quickly, a lot happens quickly, a lot more changes should happen. But I also feel that you can't be scared of making changes, even like 100 episodes down. Yeah. Like, you should always be looking to improve it. And it's not necessarily you who decides what comes in and what doesn't, because you might try a feature and then it doesn't work. So what you're going to do, you're going to scrap that and maybe try it again later on, or you're going to keep going with it. But your audience will decide whether they do or don't like something. And they'll let you know if they don't like it a lot quicker than when they let you know that they do.
Definitely do. Because you normally get like radio silence for a while and you're like, okay, what's going on here? If they don't like it, you're told that one pretty quick.
Yeah.
So or you'll only know that they liked it when you get rid of it and they go, no, where'd that go?
Bring it back.
Bring it back. And that's fine. Like, we know, if you know those things and you can mentally prepare yourself for those things, then I think you're fine.
Yeah. I think you've got to look at every sort of feedback. You will get trolls who do give you horrible comments, but you can look through them and look for the feedback that's giving you that constructive criticism, and then evolve from what your audience say. And if you start communicating with your audience as well as you're doing it, they're going to find it a lot more fun, a lot more engaged, a lot more involved with your podcast as well. So yeah, that is definitely what also when it comes to evolving your podcast, you want to make sure you're getting a lot more out of it for yourself. Not only do you want to just do a podcast, you want to have it fun for you to do. You want it to be pay you back, get a return on it as well, not just create a podcast for the sake of creating a podcast. You want to make sure you've got an investment coming back in from it. So
yeah, that's really key, and something we've obviously dove really deep into over the last couple of days, funnily enough, isn't it? And which is why this episode's come about, because actually the evolvement of our podcast and where it's going to go is a conversation we've had, but not just on our own, is actually with people who have listened to it, with people who know podcasts, listen to many podcasts, and like, well, I like this on this one, I don't like that, you know. And remembering as well that we're a video podcast, so visually it's looking good as well, not just the sounding good, which still trumps the looking good, because ultimately you can,
but you want it to look interesting.
It's going back to that, what else are you using it for? So you know, a sound bite, or using a sound bite of what our discussion, sticking that on Instagram, it's not pretty. You want it to still look pretty for Instagram. So, you know, and sometimes I feel like a lot of audio podcasts, they will put sound bites out and they'll use a static image. And actually, sometimes that gets lost in your thread or on your page, because people don't realise it's audio, that there's audio connected to it.
They just see a picture, think, oh, that's nice. You might get a like if you're lucky, but you're not getting the comment then. If you make it obvious that this is something that's being said that could be a good advice to someone, get that comment, get that share, get them to save it on Instagram, get that growth, that's a lot more valuable than just a like, than just a heart on Instagram. So it's definitely, and it's other ways of incorporating them as well, like using carousels with video clips as well. A whole range of things you can do. But you do want to make sure you're getting everything you can out of it and enjoy it as well. I think that's
enjoying it is definitely the key thing. Like this is for the information in it is for your audience. You sitting and doing it is for you. Because it's looking at the different ways you get your return on your investment. Great, money is always a lovely sort of thing, but what other opportunities is it going to open up for you? From doing our podcast, we've had a speaking gig. So because people have heard our information and gone, oh my goodness, right, that topic that you spoke about, can you do me a 20-minute talk on that?
And that wasn't just a small group of people.
No.
It was a room of 300 people at the largest social media event in Kent, and it's now progressed us into another speaking gig with, I can't remember the name of the people at the moment on the top of my head, but it's a room full of marketeers, room full of places to visit in Kent, and us going there talking to them about video trends, about podcasting, video podcasting, and how that can benefit their business. It's an opening that we wouldn't have had without having our podcast. So it's great, and it's also getting us the opportunity to be on other people's podcasts.
And I think it's a knocking on a door that we've been sort of beginning to tap around. We weren't really banging on that speaking door. We were like, people had said to us, have you thought about doing this? And we were like, well, thought about it. And we were sort of poking at the door, thinking, oh, can we do that? And then the opportunity was thrust upon us, and we was like, well, we're not going to say no to this.
And that room of people came up to us afterwards and all asked for more information and stuff, how we can help them. So it's great.
So I think evolving. I think one of the words that was used this week when we were talking about it was gimmick, and that really it sat really awkwardly with me. I was immediately like, it wasn't my back was up. Oh, it was a pit in my stomach. I don't want to be a gimmick, because to me a gimmick isn't taken seriously. And I think that word is. I get the message that they were trying to give us and the direction that they were trying to give us, and I love it. So we've kind of slightly changed the way that, for my mental brain to work it and move forward and go, yes, is how we word that. And rather than a gimmick, is we are going to introduce a feature.
Yes, and the tool of this is to make you stand out. That's what it is. That's what, whether you call it a gimmick, a feature, It's a standout point. It's going to be the reason why people remember you. It's going to be the thing that makes you recognisable, and it's going to be something that keeps people listening, tuned in, watching as well.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Is we have, things that make us recognisable, and that people comment on and say, oh my goodness, like both personally and from a business perspective. So that brand that we have is definitely there. It's now actually taking that brand to the next level.
Definitely is, yeah. And that is something, well, we can talk about what we're looking to introduce. I think there's a couple of things, because we were discussing about, do we make Lego sets while we're recording? When we get guests on, do they make Lego sets? Do we
send your Lego set when we're...
Yeah, do we play a board game with guests? But again, going back to our values, we're very much thinking maybe we need to do a family thing.
Yeah,
sort of look.
And that's definitely going to happen now, isn't it? Because part of our involvement in the business is that the boys, we talk the talk, and now we're going to be walking the walk. So we've always said this is a family business. The boys are a part of it. A lot of people have met them, and they've been out at networking events during half terms and things like that. So it is really important for us to have them as part of the business, and they want to be as well. That's the thing. It's like we're not being those pushy parents that like, you will come and do this and you will do that. It's like they're actually, sometimes I have to tell them to back down. I'm like, I don't get to do that. You don't get to do it before me.
I think what's quite exciting about it is that it's good if it's an interview that the kids are doing. Let's look at an example of a mini Ant and Dec kind of.
Yeah, little Ant and little Dec.
Yeah, is that kind? Yeah, I wasn't just describing them two, but it's kind of like that kind of feel to it. It's something where kids will ask questions that
we want to ask.
Yeah, adults might not be brave enough to. Not. It's not in a rude way. It's just inquisitive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes you'd feel a bit uncomfortable. I think you were saying to Parker, like, "Oh, in our industry, we do this, that, and the other," and he goes, "What's an industry?"
Yeah. So I suppose what we're alluding to is the fact that we will be starting in the new year a feature within our podcast, our video podcast, where Parker is actually going out and interviewing businesses to say, well, I'm 10, if I want to be a graphic designer now, what can I do right now? And the reason that's come about is because he said, well, Mum, I want to be a video podcaster like you and interview people. What can I do? And I was like, literally just do it. The best way to do this job is to just interview people. And he was like, cool, can I interview people, please? I was like, yeah. And we're making it happen.
Yeah, definitely. What I really like, and I'm really looking forward to, is I reckon it would be great for businesses to explain it to a 10-year-old, 11-year-old.
Yeah, if a 10-year-old doesn't understand your business,
then a lot of people don't understand your business.
Yeah.
It's seeing how you want to sound smart and clever doesn't slide with children, does it?
Ego is ego over effectiveness, really. Yeah. Isn't it? It's like, great, you sound smart and clever, but I'm not going to talk to you now because I feel dumb.
Yeah, you're scaring me with your big long words. Mm-hmm. I don't want to talk to you no more. So I'm going to talk to the people who talk to me like I like to understand things.
Yeah, that's it. And we all, the thing is as well, is that your business becomes, you become an expert in your field, and things like, you're a phenomenal photographer and videographer.
Thank you.
But I'm going to just shuffle when I feel like I might hit the mic. Ooh, there we go. But a part of that is that even when you've explained things to me, like I've got the camera and you're like, change the f-stop. I'm like, what the...
I'm going to f-stop you in a minute.
F is the f-stop. And is that because language is easy to you, because you understand what an f-stop is. So how do you explain that to someone? And I know that it's not, we're not explaining people how to do your job, but even what your job is quite interesting. Like, I might be able to use your service, but if I don't know what your service is... Well,
it's something as going with when you're breaking down your script, are you using the hook, the content, and the call to action? Even those 3 steps, they're clear to people who are in marketing, but are they clear to a business owner who doesn't have... They're the one who are in the video, but then they might not they might not know the steps you need to make an effective video.
And the importance of those as well. Again, I think we leak into a world now where we can all find out quite quickly through AI and things like that, like what we need to do. And that's how a lot of businesses are like, right, that's how a lot of businesses have gone viral and things like that, because they've gone, right, well, apparently we need to add this thing called a CTA, which is a call to action. And it's like, yeah, but do you understand what type of call to action you need to add, what the power of that call to action is, how to then measure the results of that call to action, all those things. So we are beginning to understand languages a bit more, but we're not understanding the why, the importance. And so, yeah, Parker asks us a lot of questions. And so now we're going to get him to come and ask you a lot of questions.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and obviously we've had features like a clap to you kind of feature. I reckon this is a level beyond that. It's a chance for a business to tell their story, and we can show their brand off and really get them involved. I think what we need to remember when it comes to evolving your podcast is, I love the saying that you always say, is that this isn't the same, but when people are looking for perfection,
progress over perfection,
because when people are looking to start with perfection, they're not going to start. You can't make perfect without doing anything.
Yeah.
So you've got to gradually build up to it. Like, we've improved from our podcast from a year or two ago when we started doing it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
They were crap to begin with, but we were learning, but we'd done it. And then we took the time away to go, okay, let's make sure we invest in the right stuff, the right gear, the right tools. What did we enjoy,
what didn't we?
Yeah, let's talk about that kind of thing. And then we've come back with a better podcast that's still evolving.
Yeah.
It's a video podcast first and foremost, and it's still evolving into the way it looks, the way we are, the conversations that we have. Like, it's called Be the Hero of Your Brand, because we want to help you be the hero of your brand, and we think podcasts can do it. So there's going to be a lot more discussions around video podcasting. There's going to be a lot more discussions with other brands who we could help with this feature as well.
That we'll bring on, and they can support that.
Yeah.
Turning people into the hero of their brand.
Yeah, so...
And I think it is scary changing, isn't it? Like, I want to push boundaries, but I want to push them right. Yeah,
it's kind of, everyone gets into a safe zone. I was like, oh, this is fine. I've got it kind of ticking over. So we could have kept it plain wall to show that it's a simple setup that we've got. But no, this is us. We've got Back to the Future card because I love Back to the Future. You're up Lego set because it reminds us of, again, family.
Yeah.
And things like that. There's Lego camera sets. There's going to be more of us brought into it. There's bits that you can't even see up there. But there's going to be more of us brought into this. And as we buy more things and can show them off, that's what we're going to do. Because we want you to know who we are just by looking at us, not just by hearing us and listening to us.
Yeah. And we are tempted to, we're like, do we build Lego whilst we're chatting? I mean, is that something... But again, you've got to think about your audience, is that some people will tune in for the Lego, some people will tune in for the conversation, some people tune in because we're a married couple, some people tune in because they're like, oh my goodness, you two are just... Like, someone said, oh, you two should have your own TV show. And I'm a bit like, I do. This is technically it, really. Yeah. Like, let's not be coy about the fact that a video podcast nowadays, it's released weekly, and it's ours is about half an hour long. Isn't that a soap? Like,
well, we're not doing soaps. We're not going to be like,
dun dun.
I am your mother.
I'm your husband. Yeah, I know. Don't upset me, because our highest client right now, I could, But it is those things, like knowing, again, there are so many things you can get out of it, so many things your audience can get out of it, and more.
Yeah.
And evolution of evolving your podcast is only ever going to give you more, your audience more, and your marketing more, which is why your video podcast should be your whole marketing strategy.
Love it. Okay, let's quickly recap everything, because we are coming up to lunchtime.
Yum, yum. I know, I'm waiting for the...
Yeah, that's what we're really scared of, let you hear our stomachs going. So, podcast evolution. Listen to your feedback. Your audience are the ones that decide what is going to change, what works, what doesn't work.
Yeah. Try things, like, for a period of time as well. I'm not like one episode and like, no, that didn't work. Like, but you've got to enjoy what you try as well.
Yeah, that's it. Gimmicks, features, whatever you want to call them, they're a way for you to stand out. Do try them. Keeping it fun while you're doing it. Don't change yourself for the sake of other people, because you'll just attract the wrong people.
Yeah.
And progress over perfection, as you
Hey, you
always say.
remembered it, this one.
I just read it.
Oh, did you know? You put the ball behind all the lights today. I'm like, you did this on purpose.
I did it.
This was your episode to talk,
yeah.
wasn't it?
And you still got a good percentage of the talking done.
Shut up.
But we're going to go have some lunch. So, love you, bye.
Love you, bye.